Have you ever had a conversation with a person who will hear nothing that you're saying, and however, at the same time, he or she wants you to hear everything that they have to say? They've got ideas, they've got charisma, they've got plans, they've got goals, they got things to tell you about this night or that night. They got a lot of things to say. However, in some way, shape, or form, they never hear anything you're saying, even when they're asking you for your advice. But we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about how to get around that. Those people have conversational barriers that eliminate the idea and the process of having a back and forth conversation with each other. They totally cause confusion, and you can never have a decent conversation with those type of people. Let's get into it. All right, so in conversation, the term clearing the storm clouds, I don't know if you ever heard of that. There's a term called clearing the storm clouds, and it's often used metaphorically to resolve conflict. It's also used for overcoming challenges or addressing issues that cause tension, those type of things. It suggests bringing about clarity, understanding, or resolution during the time of uncertainty. For example, if a person is excited about an achievement, he or she will divert all their attention on that achievement and really miss anything you saying in your conversation. All his attention is going to be focused on that event. When you talking, it's going to be literally like talking to a brick because he's not focused, he's not hearing anything you have to say. So how do we get around that? You have to let that person talk and go ahead and get all his energy out until he exhausts that position of thought in his brain. So you got to be willing to listen, because that excitement might be a storm cloud to the other person blocking out your message. But to that person, that's the most important thing in the world at that moment. So to clear away the storm cloud, you got to actually help that person expand all the emotional energy that supports that excitement. That's clearing away the storm cloud, like allowing that person to get everything out of his mind so that when his mind is empty, now he has room to listen to what you're talking about. That makes sense. I hope that makes sense. When you do this, you clear away the storm clouds. You actually encouraging the distracted or excited person to talk it out. When a person talks, they experience excitement and they have a lot of energy to get rid of. And when they actually are allowed to talk, they're able to get it out. They actually release that energy. And once that happens, then they actually ready to talk. And that is the psychology of a person who becomes ready to listen. So you could help that other person by actually listening attentively to them first, allowing them to get theirs off. Because if you got something important to say, you don't want nothing blocking your message. You got to be able to let them get all their thoughts out the way so they can hear what you're saying. Otherwise, it becomes a frustrating conversation. And it's a lot of butting in, it's a lot of cutting off, right? It actually clouds the message on your end as well as that person's end, and you actually having a conversation like you standing in front of a brick wall, meaning both of y'all conversating, but there's a barrier right there where no one's message is getting through to the other person. If you ask questions and make detailed remarks, you will actually be more appreciated by the other person because they can see that you actually have an interest in what they saying, which actually inspires them to want to talk more and get your feedback more. Once they see that your attention is into them, then they become more into you. This is how conversation works and gets more exciting. This is how you gain popularity with other people because they begin to know you as a person who actually listens to their ideas. And that's what people want when they talk. Nobody wants to feel like their conversation is going on deaf ears. When they understand that you listen, then they become excited and they actually feel obligated to hear what you got to say in response. So that's talking about clearing the storm cloud. Learn how to clear the storm clouds in conversation. If you see that person got too much energy and they not really listening, take a step back, listen to what they saying, make remarks, comment, ask questions. This will give them the obligation to have to hear your response. Once you've cleared away the distraction and interference, then now you must gain the other person's full attention to want to hear and be excited about your topic. One way to do that is to project your benefit ahead of time, right? You got to know what you're going to get out of it and project that before you actually engage in that conversation, especially when you know that that's a person who has a lot of energy and likes to cut the conversation to get their stuff out. But you've already cleared the storm clouds. Now you got to project your benefit. Point out a benefit that he or she can drive from your point of view. Show how that person's health, wealth, or happiness will increase from your point of view. Show them how their quality of life will improve. People are happy hearing things that will help their situation or give a solution to their problems. That's just a fact. The fundamentals about that never change. I got a buddy who would always talk about things he was doing, and he never wanted to hear your idea because he thought his ideas was always the best. But when his ideas started failing and he was frustrated about it and wanted to talk about it, I decided to go ahead and let him finish saying what he was saying till he really didn't have anything else. Then I began to show him how if he would have took this step or that step, he would have made this better move over here. His money that he invested would have been invested right, and it would have had more benefits. When he understood that, he was willing to listen more. Guess what I did? I gave him the next step that he had never thought of. And when I gave him that play and he put it into action, he came back asking for more information, because at that point he realized he didn't actually have the best ideas, and that made him more willing to listen when he seen that what I told him helped his pocket, right? Not only did it help his pocket, but it caused him to be happier in the long run. So I allowed him to clear away his storm clouds, get all his ideas out, and I listened. I came up with a solution for him. I gave him that play. It worked for him. Now he's coming back to me for advice, which in turn, scratch my back, I scratch yours. I charge him a little bit of paper. He gives me his money. I give him suggestions that work for him. He goes and puts them into action. And now he's making more money than he ever did before when he was trying it his own way. Why? Because I actually listened to what his problem was, gave him some suggestions. He listened back to me, and the conversation ended up benefiting the both of us. So that's what clearing the storm clouds is. You let them get their ideas and their emotions and their excitement out. You listen, you ask questions, you allow them to get it all out the way to where they're interested in your idea. You give them something that actually benefits them and benefits the both of y'all. And there it is there. Conversation's a winner. Clear the storm clouds. That person wins, you win. I'm Sir Amos. I'm out.